Hi everyone, Mr. Markwick here. Today's video is looking at another strategy to reduce the amount of interest you would pay on a home loan or mortgage. We know already that when you take out a loan, you pay quite a lot of interest on that amount that you borrow as you pay it off. You could have some additional money in a savings account, and that savings account could be earning you some interest. But what you could also do is, rather than set up a savings account, save up or have set up an offset account, which basically offsets the amount of the loan. So it's kind of an account that is attached to the mortgage or the home loan, right? Here's an example. Suppose you've taken out a loan and the balance of the loan is $100,000, but you have $20,000 in an offset account. So you're not just putting that $20,000 into the $100,000 loan, you've got it sitting in a different account, but it offsets the total amount of the $100,000. So what you're actually doing in that instance is paying interest on the difference between $100,000 and $20,000. So you're only paying interest on $80,000. Now keep in mind that as you get towards the end of the loan, you still need to be able to pay off that $20,000. So it's not actually in the loan. You may have it sitting next to the loan. It may be there. You may use it to just pay off the rest of the loan. But it's offsetting the amount of interest you pay on the loan in total, but it's not actually in the loan. Okay, so let's look at an example and see how it works. And again, this is just a simple example. This will be an approximate saving, but how does having an offset account reduce the amount of interest you would pay on a loan? So it says here, Gavin has taken out a loan for $300,000 at 4.9% per annum with interest being compounded monthly. And that's going to be for 20 years. His monthly repayments are set at $1,963.34. And on average, he has $110,000 in his offset account for the term of the loan. So this is to estimate the amount of interest Gavin will save by having the offset account. So if he has the offset account, it's going to reduce the amount of interest he pays, therefore reducing the total amount he has to repay back, which will actually reduce the period of the loan or the total life of the loan. So rather than paying it off in 20 years, he's going to pay it off less than 20 years, hopefully. So what we're actually being asked here is to determine the value of N. How long will it take to pay off the loan if the interest rate is 4.9%? The amount he borrowed, the present value, is $300,000, but because he has an average of $10,000 in the offset account, we're going to subtract the $10,000 because he's only paying interest on the difference between those two amounts. So he's only paying interest on $300,000, take $10,000. Now again, when you put in PV into your graphics calculator, you are putting a positive value in, so this will still be positive $290,000. My PMT is given to me here, and again, because PMT is your monthly repayment, you're paying it. It's a minus or a negative value, negative $1,963.34. The future value we want to be 0 to pay it off completely. PY will be set as 12 because they are monthly repayments, and CY will also be set as 12 because interest is being compounded monthly. So let's go ahead and throw those in the graphics calculator and ask it how long will it take in months. So I've already done that. Notice here that my PV is 300,000, take 10,000. Once I've got those values in, I'm asking the calculator to determine how many months it would take me to pay off that loan. So what is the value of N? Here we're going to round that up again to 227 months. So N equals 227 months to pay off the loan using the offset account of approximately $10,000 or average $10,000 to reduce the amount of interest. So how many years is 227 months? It's going to be less than the 20 years that the loan was taken out for. So to convert that, I would just do 227 divided by 12, which gives me 18.92 approximately years. So it's 18 years, but how many months? I'm just going to go remove the 18 years now, so take that away, and then I'm going to multiply that number, that decimal number, by 12 to tell me how many months. So 11 months. So 18 years and 11 months is how long it's going to take to repay the loan if he has $10,000 in his offset account. So you can see it's saving him a year and 1 month worth of repayments. So it says then to estimate the amount of interest Gavin will save by having the offset account. So if he didn't have the offset account, so no offset account, he would be paying 20 years worth of monthly repayment of $1,963.34. Okay. And we're going to subtract the amount he borrowed, which was $300,000. And that will tell me how much interest he has to pay in total. So let's go ahead and look at that. 20 times 12, which is 240 times 1,963.34. Okay, subtract the $300,000 that he borrowed because we're just working out the interest. So he's paying $171,201.60 of interest. It's a lot of interest. But how much interest would he pay if he had the offset account? So with the offset account, he's not paying a full 20 years. He's only paying 18 years and 11 months, or 227 months in total. So I'm going to do the amount of interest he pays here is 227 times by the minimum monthly repayment of $1,963.34. But before I subtract the amount he borrowed, I'm also going to add the $10,000 because remember, he hasn't paid that off yet. Okay, he hasn't actually paid. It's in the offset account. It's reducing the amount of interest he pays to reduce, I guess, the life of the loan, but he still needs to pay that $10,000 off at the end of the 227 months, right? So he still needs to pay that off, and then we can subtract the $300,000. Okay, that's really important that you understand, okay, it's reduced the life of the loan, but it still needs to be paid off, okay? It's not just a loan of $290,000 anymore. It's still a $300,000 loan, right? He still needs to pay that total off. So let's put that one away for now and get this calculator out. We're going to do 227 times the minimum monthly repayment, okay, plus the $10,000. Okay, let's say at the end he did decide to put the whole $10,000 in. We're going to subtract the amount he borrowed, and that gives us $155,678.18 in interest he pays with the offset account, which is less than if he didn't have the offset account. So $155,678.18. So the amount of interest he saves is equal to the amount of interest he would pay if he didn't have the offset account minus the amount of interest he would pay if he did use the offset account. And that will be our final answer. Well, that's what the question's asking. There's not much scaffolding to the question, but that's how we'd get there. So $171,201.60 minus $155,678.18, which would save him $15,523.42. So I'll pop that in. $15,523.45. 42 cents, damn it. Almost perfect video. So always going to make that last mistake. Anyway, that is a process, and that's just the basic process of calculating how much interest approximately you would save using an offset account. Keeping in mind, okay, you only pay interest on the difference between the amount you borrow and what's in your offset account, but you still need to somehow pay that amount back at the end of, the number of months, for example. So keep that in mind. Really important with the offset account is a lot of people forget to add that amount back on at the end. Okay, so again, thanks for watching, and hopefully that helps. I'll see you in my next video.